Chris Bassani, acting deputy chief.
Shannon Skiles, acting fire chief.
Bob Falls, dog number.
You were introduced when you sit here. You better behave, or I'll let me cut the wires on your battery. Oh, okay. Okay, this time for oral communications. This is the opportunity for any member of the public to address the committee. If you have anything to address, or anyone in the committee or visitors who has anything that you want to address. Apparently there is none. Scheduled matters. The first thing we have is reorganization of committee members and subcommittee assignments. We are short members. Mr. Bill, would you share with everyone what you just shared with me about respective members that you have?
I've talked to Ann Green, and she used to run the Family Crisis Center for a number of years, and she's expressed interest in being on the committee. She was going to join us as a public participant today, but she didn't seem to make it, I guess. And she was talking to Jennifer Lingred about possibly joining her. They're pretty good friends. And then I see Janice Castle all over town, and since she's retired, she's looking for things to do, I think. And so she'd make a good one. So next time I can catch her not moving around for 5 minutes, I'll invite her. So that would help with some of this. Now I saw that this was flown in the on social media, the vacancies.
Right.
Did anything develop from that?
Any response, Fernando?
No, we have not had any responses yet. Since we last discussed it at the last meeting, but we'll be on the lookout for anybody coming.
Okay, two of those names have been brought up before, and I think most everyone who's familiar with those individuals agree that they would be definitely good additions to the committee, as would Ms. Green. I'm familiar with her. I believe she's a shirt sleeve relative somewhere along the line, but then again, just about having portability. So we are also in need of filling some vacant spots, and we can fill that with people who are on the committee. And is anyone's term due to expire anytime soon?
No, we are set, I believe, to have the next slate due by next year.
Okay.
I'd have to double check to see which members are, but
So if we choose to fill some of these spots tonight, they're not going to be
no.
aged out real quick if
No.
someone doesn't want to stay. And even though my position is filled, is this an opportunity to give other people an opportunity to fill all the positions, or?
You can if you like. It just depends on. I mean, yeah.
Well, it's just someone might want to do this. Show of hands.
Anybody?
And you can open up for a nomination.
Right here.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'd like to nominate Jerry for the chairman.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Great.
Aye.
Who died and made you the
Oh, you just got railroaded.
Yeah, you think? It's happened before, hasn't it? Okay, do we have any suggestions for a vice chairperson? Anyone who would like to fill that position? Or anyone who would like to nominate someone for that position? Or would anyone like me to appoint someone to that position?
I was going to volunteer for that, but I see that we also need somebody to run the roads.
We'll get around to the liaisons and the officer positions are two different things.
Yes, sir.
So we have a volunteer
For
chairperson, vice chair.
we could have, but I kind of wanted to help out on the roadside too.
Okay, when we get to that, as vice chair, you can appoint yourself.
I want to appoint myself.
I second that. Jerry, I second that.
Well, we haven't had a motion yet. Does anyone have an objection to the former chair filling the vacant vice chair position? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any discussion? I guess by acclamation, Mr. Bilyeu has been appointed as vice chair. Now we have the secretary position, which is vacant, which is a labor-intensive position. Whoever has that has to be willing to stay here after the meeting and transcribe all of the minutes and turn them in to me for review before I turn them into this Fernando, who will turn them into the city manager. And by the time those reviews are complete, then you can leave. Anyone volunteering for that position? Or should I appoint someone? Does anyone want to nominate someone?
Can you do two jobs?
Okay, how about if we reduce the intensity of the labor? All you have to do is put your name beside the title of secretary, and Fernando will take care of everything for you.
I could do that.
We appear to have a volunteer. Any opposition to Ms. Strawn being the secretary of Tutok? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Any discussion? Congratulations, Ms. Strawn.
Thank you, Fernando.
Of course, just for the purposes of the minutes, did we get a second on that or?
Sure, I second.
Yeah,
Who's second?
sure,
It's a
yeah,
second.
sure. For the minutes. Okay, liaison positions. Sean, are you happy with hanging out with the
Yep.
firebugs?
Yep.
Okay. Margaret, are you okay?
Yeah.
Going out and drinking wine with the library folks?
Wait,
what?
Tony, you didn't come like
Can I run against her?
And I have no opposition to remaining liaison with the police department, if the police department is okay with that.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was quick, wasn't it? Since these are not new appointments, we don't need any motion or anything of that nature forward, or do it, Fernando? No.
No, but. I mean, there are other vacant seats on there.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
And now, Public Works, we have no liaison to go out and hang around with the boys playing in the dirt. Any volunteers for that? Mr. Bill, are you interested in that liaison position?
Yeah, I kind of was, but if I'm double dutying it,
You're not.
I'll have to
just-
get a raise.
Okay, yeah, I'll double your salary.
We need to leave something for the new people coming on.
I can step down as soon as they.
Yeah, we can-
It's not a problem.
We can do a shuffle if we need to, but we have to get new people first.
Yeah.
Anyone opposed to Mr. Bill Yu filling the liaison with Public Works? There being none, you are duly appointed. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll be starting at 5 o'clock in the morning.
You're sleeping in?
We feed all the chickens and everything.
Okay. Next time we get, I think now we need a sergeant of arms so that these comments from the gallery. All right. Anything else that you want to do with that at this point, Fernando, or wait to see if we get some new people to acclimate them for the alternate positions for liaisons?
Yeah, I just want to kind of note that there are other, 4 vacant other positions. I don't know if Mr. Falls wanted to be a part of that or.
You mean as the secondaries?
Yeah,
Did you want to be an assistant liaison to anything? You could go drink wine with Margaret at the library.
She only drinks tea.
Oh, Where would you like to fill in?
Be a liaison with Sean.
Great. Sean, have any problems with that?
I have no problem. It's a wonderful addition.
Well, I'm checking with the fire department right now.
No problem. Good with that.
Okay.
As long as Chris is good with it.
Okay.
I don't have one,
You don't have one?
no.
I'll give you the police department.
How about Public Works?
That's fine.
That'd be great.
The assistant?
Sure.
What's wrong with Margaret?
Huh?
What's wrong with working with Margaret?
I apologize. I didn't-
Nobody wants me.
They said you drink all the wine.
Okay, so she wants to be with Public Works.
Perfect.
And in the meantime, if need be, Margaret, if you can't meet with library people when they need to meet.
Do all the time anyway.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying, if you wanted to go out and drink wine by yourself, I don't mind filling in for you. I don't drink, so I'm safe.
I'm fine with the library,
Okay.
and I'll go find where they hid that bottle of wine.
Good girl. All right. We good, Fernando? We're good. All right, moving on. Has everyone reviewed their minutes from the prior meeting? Is that everyone on the committees in replying in the affirmative that they have in fact read their minutes?
Yes, I have.
Do you need a moment to read them now?
No, I read them.
We're all good?
I moved, I checked them as printed.
Well, I was gonna ask if there was any corrections or additions to the meeting minutes.
I don't find any.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any discussion? Motion carries. You get the names?
Yeah.
Okay, now we get to go on to the heavy stuff. And that is reviewing the fourth quarter measure H, measure I, expenditures, and the reports for fiscal year budgeted as of June 30th, 2024. And reporting period of April 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2024. And if it's okay with everyone, I would like to make the reports inclusive of those who report for measure H and I to be, to make their report all together, and then the issues that are not covered there, we'll move on to. Is anyone opposed to that? All right, let's start with the police department.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. So Chairman Hall and I did have the opportunity to have a telephone conference regarding our fourth quarter expenditures. Going over the reports, there was a few items on there that I didn't recognize. Typically, we as a command staff, we do a critical review of our expenditures pretty frequently. So kind of what we've noticed is that a lot of the technology that we rely on to operate as a department and do it so efficiently, generally, those are the ones we don't recognize. So we have to do a little bit of research to find out what those are, which again is typical. If I can direct your attention, and you guys probably have a very thick packet, but there's an entry called technical services. I did have to do a little review on that. That comes down to radio repairs. When we undertake the critical review, and I'm sure this has been explained in the past, it doesn't matter if it's what the sub $1 or $20,000. We're going to take a look at it just to make sure it's adequate and appropriate, that we're being good stewards of the people. Another expenditure that I found was just labeled site license. When I look into that further, that's an expenditure for Copware, which is a legal resource guide. That's what our personnel rely upon to look at changes in the laws, research Senate bills, new assembly bills. When moving along, there was another expenditure that I noticed that just said annual program management for our AED. That is actually because we do have 3 defibrillators within the police department. That's a federal and state regulatory compliance, but those are checked annually. There was some more expenditures that I noticed were an increase in our Measure I vehicles. That's because the majority of our fleet are made up of Measure I patrol cars. We did have some expenditures due to replacement parts, preventative maintenance, and so on and so forth. There's some information I would like to share in relation to our animal control building. We did have our grand opening on August 7th. It's going well. Thank you for those who attended. We've also added a couple individuals to our SMART team. That will give us the ability to leverage our resources. Our SMART team is our special methods and resource team, our homeless outreach team. And with that being said, that carries over to Measure H. Measure I. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Did you have any unexpected expenses in here?
No, we did not. We, again, we do a very critical and detailed evaluation of our budget prior to expenditures. All of our invoices also go through a multi-review process, everything from my lieutenant to the captain to the assistant chief.
You had some unexpected expenses from car wrecks and some things one time that were out of the ordinary. That's kind of what I was referring to.
That was in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Correct.
But nothing like that.
Nothing major.
Okay. How many people showed up for the, do you have an idea that showed up for the dog pound opening or whatever you call it?
I would estimate close to 100.
Yeah. That kind of expectations? Was that kind of your expectations? What
We
we
thought
show?
so. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought there was more than that,
That was pretty close to 100.
200 to 300.
All right. Well, 200 to 300 it is.
Sold, okay. Very
Your
good.
position, you were counting heads. From his position, he was counting legs. I think it was in excess of 100, though. It was a guy stood behind most of the time, but it was an excellent turnout, and it was very well conducted. The whole ceremony was quite nice, and I think those who had not been in the facility prior to this, they were appropriately impressed by the facility. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to get over there and take a look at it. It's quite an impressive accomplishment.
I was told it was like a Hilton outside.
A doggy Hilton,
Doggy Hilton.
pretty much.
It's good.
Although they have a couple of areas that have been set aside, John, if you ever get in trouble at home.
Yeah.
And it's even temperature controlled.
You don't call it a dog pound. What do you call it?
Animal shelter.
Animal shelter. Thank you.
Rescue.
Anyone else have any questions of police department, Captain Manus? Fire department,
Chairman,
John, did you have anything to discuss about the fire department?
No, me and acting chief Giles spoke through it, so we had a good discussion. Everything's on board. Everything's pretty much checked out. I had a few questions. She answered them. She explained. It was good.
yeah,
Chief,
you bet. Yeah, during this quarter, we didn't have really any anomalies to either Measure H or I. All the expenditures were expected. We did have some increased spending reflected due to overtime accumulated because of vacations, administrative leave, workers' comp, and we also had conducted a new hire academy, which always creates more overtime for us. We also are continuing to replace some of our out-of-date helmets and purchasing of protective equipment for our new hires, and also replacing expired protective equipment for the department. Some of the new regulations that have came out through National Fire Protection Agency was that firefighters are required to have 2 sets of turnouts now. So when one's contaminated from a fire, we can clean them and then wear our second set and keep alternating to help prevent cancer in the workplace. So that's one of the things that it was expected to be increasing. We also have put an emphasis on succession training, especially in regard to command and control training. We currently are having a instructor come and do all 4 fire series classes for chief officer. It's ending this week, correct, Chris? Yes, it's been really successful. We had at least 10 of our personnel that qualified and they all took the class. We had several people from our operating area, including Visalia, Tulare, Farmersville, the reservation, Thule Reservation had personnel in it. And then we had personnel even from further down south that attended it. We also had some expenditures in there where we contracted with Mike Kraus Consulting to do one of our plans. Which plan was that, Chris? Strategic plan, yeah, because we're getting ready to do our master plan as well. We just completed our strategic plan. This document helps plan for the next 5 years. It coincides with our serious accident review team investigation from the library, fire, it supports that, and insurance service office for our classification. We recently had our reclassification done through ISO, and we should be getting that rating back any month now. Other than that, we contributed, like I said, we completed our classroom remodel and it's up and running. That's where we are hosting the class out of right now. And other than that, we're still planning on, we still spent some money on some of our designs for Station 72, 71 remodel along with the EOC plans. Also, we have some new fire apparatus that are under construction, just as information. And here within a month, we should be having a new four-wheel drive light unit for river fires coming. It's pretty state of the art, looking pretty good. So it should be here within the next month or two. Other than that, if there's any question, I'd be happy to answer.
You had a fire truck on order. Did that come in?
We have 3 on order. We have 2 engines, which are just the normal fire hose and pumps and water. And then we have a tiller, which is a big ladder truck coming in. Those are actually on order. Right now, they take anywhere from 2 to 2.5 years to be completed from the time that you order them to completion date. So we're still probably about, 2.5, 2 3/4 of a year for our engines to come in, and then closer to 2.5 for our ladder truck.
Your ladder truck is it, how tall does it reach out?
It's a 105-foot ladder on it.
Okay.
It's actually got a tractor trailer on this one with a driver in the front and rear. It's called a tiller, and it helps for maneuverability. Another thing that it helps out with is for equipment. Like instead of having to get a separate rescue trailer, it's got a lot of equipment space on there, so we can put some of our hazmat equipment on there, rope rescue equipment, and then it also holds probably about 2 to 3 times the amount of ladders that our current engines have. So, like if there's an emergency, let's say at an apartment complex, we can, for life safety, we can throw ladders on several windows versus just having 4 ladders, 5 ladders. So we almost doubled the amount of ladders that we can throw on an incident once that equipment comes in.
It's obviously huge.
It is big.
Where are you going to store it?
That's part of it. It will fit currently in our Station 71. We made sure do the height and the length. It will fit, but we'll have to be backing it in. So one of the things for the remodels that we're requesting is Station 72 for personnel, so we can increase the amount of personnel that we have in our department, is to have more bedrooms so we can house 6 people at Station 72 by the library. But one of the things, we're also enlarging the bay so we can fit 2 apparatus back to back, but it will also fit the tiller there while the remodel's happening at Station 71, which is here. And hopefully if the EOC gets located at the Centennial Plaza like we're planning on, that'll free up some space for us to do the remodel there and have drive-through engine bays at 71. So it'll fit better for safety.
That's going to be quite a little challenge backing up 2 steering wheels.
Yeah, it is. But believe me, with the tiller operators and the engines, they get really good at it.
I'm sure
you can, talk about parallel parking. You can crab walk it. You can walk it sideways.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Just about. I mean, it'll go a little bit forward, but you can almost go sideways with those.
That, you ought to make a big deal out of it when that shows up.
Oh, yeah, we will.
'Cause that's big city stuff.
I think we'll have a parade.
Why not? And you expect that in
That was probably about 2.5 years out.
still 2.5 years? Okay, thank you.
The public safety station that's a co-op between departments, isn't it?
So we have our evidence people out there.
Right. We made any changes or progress or anything on that?
As far as I know, we're staying.
Yeah, no, evidence is
With our-
staying out there.
Okay, so it's all,
Yeah, we work out there with.
It's all business as
our
usual.
Administrative offices are currently out there, and then we have the fire side.
right,
We took over where the detectives were, so that's where our administrative offices are. But the evidence technicians, they have an office, and then they have the evidence room, and then they have a large storage room that's just outside. Right?
Yeah, I think we share the break room.
We share the break room.
oh, that's scary.
You guys are more than welcome to come over onto the other side. Right. But there is a cost to the food.
At one time, there was going to be a joint effort between the Porterville Fire Department and the tribe out of the casino. Is that still progressing, or is that stopped, or?
No, there is. There's the MOU is being worked on right now. as we
Yeah,
speak.
we're currently in negotiations with the tribe on
Okay, so that's still
Want
moving
to
forward.
explain what an MOU is?
a memorandum of understanding. It's an agreement between parties.
So, yeah, we're currently providing fire coverage for the casino and the tribal land out there. Their intent is to sometime in the future actually have a fire station built out there. So then that will require a little bit more cooperation between the tribe and them. But currently we're covering fire coverage out there.
So there's a, I assume that because it's close to the airport, it's a contiguous piece of property with this for the city and stuff. It's not an island, right?
The reservation is an island.
It
It's
is a
sovereign land.
reservation.
It is actually tribal land out there.
So is that a purchase service they do?
I'm not sure what that is.
Do they pay extra taxes for that kind of coverage, fire coverage, because it's outside of the city, or?
No, that's what the MOU is for.
Yeah, that's what, because they don't pay taxes. So it's basically payments in lieu of taxes. We're looking at a different type of structure, but they will be paying for services. But that's what we're negotiating.
Okay, because that's,
Currently paying.
And they are paying, yes,
Yes.
they are or not?
they are
Okay,
paying.
It doesn't fall under mutual aid.
No.
not if there's no mutual on the other side.
We may have a mutual aid in effect from one of our old MOUs with a ladder truck that we would go up to the reservoir. That was years ago. I don't know if it's still in effect as much.
But not for the casino.
Not for the casino. This was just for the tribe themselves.
Yeah, well, the mutual aid aspect of it works though, if an agency with primary jurisdiction does not have anyone to respond to an incident and an allied agency responds to it, they do it on their own dime just to help the allied agency. And I just wondered if that would include them as well.
We actually have agreements, mutual aid and actually automatic aid agreements with our surrounding operators. Like we have a automatic aid with Tulare County where if we have something within the city, they will send at least one engine. And then if also with CAL FIRE, with their crew, they will send an engine and their personnel to our incidents with the agreement that if they have Tulare County has an incident, specifically fire usually within a certain area of Porterville, we will also send a unit automatically to there with initial dispatch. Same with CAL FIRE. Our automatic aid agreement is that we have a water tender because they usually operate in areas that are rural without water. So we will send our water tender to assist them on our automatic aid and mutual aid agreements. And the reservation will have that too, especially when they have their fire department down here.
Does anyone have any questions? Any more questions? The last major age issue is library.
And roads. Tuitions.
Yeah.
It's doing well.
It's doing this well. Okay, sorry. Ariana, do you have anything on the library? What's going on?
Yeah, we concluded our summer reading program, which included our lunch at the library program. It was a huge success. Sometimes maxing out library capacity, more than we expected, but good program, great program where we serve meals, serve lunch to kids age 18 and under. And then we had one expense that was unexpected. You might see it on the list under under computer maintenance. We had our router go out. So you'll see the charge as a network tiger. The part that the router needed is no longer made. So we had to track down a refurbished one. The library was without internet for about 2.5 days. Now we're back up and running with backup parts. One-time expenditure.
Any progress on plans for a new facility?
This September 3rd, next Tuesday, there'll be a council meeting with an agenda item in the library for the architects and the council to consider the options.
And you will control your excitement.
And the council meeting next Tuesday.
And for clarification, it's grape juice.
Yeah.
It's your story, you stick to it. Measure I, streets, Mr. Knight.
Happy to tell the report, unlike the fire department, I'm not able to take you to new heights, but we definitely, will be working on the rides we called smoother. The self-performed maintenance is, we're about 60, a little over 60% of this year's scheduled, maintenance work. With depending on how the weather holds out this year, we all want rain, but, that also skews the schedule a little bit. We're hopeful that everything will be executed and completed, coming into the next fiscal year. Budget looks good. We're still working on trying to acquire some vehicles related to the expenditures for Measure I. Just the supply still isn't there on the utility trucks that we're trying to acquire. So working through those details, you'll see in the expenditure report on projects, primary expenditures are currently being spent on the villa. That's the biggest project going on with those, with other projects coming in line for future implementation. Happy to answer any questions. Yeah.
Any relief in sight for the medical facilities and patients on the villa?
We're working on it. We're working on
That's
it.
been tough.
Yeah, it has been challenging, even, keeping the road patched up to allow traffic after a day's activities is.
Or the
is kind of-
sidewalk.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. So, when the project's done, it'll be great. Long time coming. The new infrastructure there will be great. We spent a lot of time just repairing some of the service leaks over the years on that older infrastructure. And so, hopefully we're not doing any more repairs, hindering that same access on a day-to-day operation after the project's completed.
Hopefully get things tied up a little tighter than on Gay Street last year.
We're hoping.
Good. Any questions of Mr. Knight and the streets and maintenance projects? Mr. Moore, how is Parks and Leisure here? Have some nice projects going on, I see.
We have some exciting ones on the horizon for sure.
I'd like to drive on some of your projects. It's pretty smooth looking.
Yeah, so we have our big 4th Street Community Center and Park down the road, and we just received a grant for a sportsplex over across from the courthouse where the library is gonna end up going. So we'll be having some arena soccer fields out there and some pickleball courts and some multi-sport courts. So have a few exciting projects, and Javier's group is finishing up a trail between the two, putting some nice new amenities in there to connect them. There's some fitness equipment, some playground equipment, some water fountains and things like that. So it's going to be quite the stretch between Henderson and Olive. Very exciting.
Yeah, it's looking good. I have a question, Fernando, on the report. The page 2 of the Measure I report. Are you there? It says sales tax Measure R. Is that a misprint, or are we now charged with reviewing another measure?
Your Honor, if I actually defer to Janie Rodriguez, our finance director.
Measure R is for the abatement program.
Okay,
I need to letter of leave.
and that's now part of our review
Yeah.
process, okay. Very good, I had litter abatement on my notes here and skipped right over that, but I didn't connect the dot between the two of them, thank you. Do you have anything to report on the project?
No, that is. Life.
You get all the trash, don't you?
I do. Nothing to report. It's a joint effort with CSET, and they're performing those operations on some of that for the highway cleanup. That doesn't bleed over into Donnie's cleanup stuff, right?
No.
No, it's just the highway. It's just the highway.
Highway.
It's just the highway abatement with CSET
So
program
it's
partnership with
working
Caltrans.
through on the state routes within the city as well as the off ramps. So it's a partnership between the city, TCAG and Caltrans, and the CSET being the operator who's among his partner.
Thank you. Ms. Hilda, do you have anything for us tonight?
I don't.
How sad. Does anyone have anything for the good of the cause?
We're gonna schedule the next meeting.
You want to do this?
Listen,
Good answer. November 6th, 26th.
Your Honor, if
November-
you don't mind, can we, if we still need some action on 3 and 4 to accept the.
oh,
report?
except,
Oh, that's right, that's right. I had that on my notes too and skipped right over it. We have a motion to approve the report on measure H.
I second that.
Do we have a motion?
Oh, I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
Margaret made the motion,
I'll second.
and all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Blah, blah. And the same thing for measure I. Do we have a motion to approve that report?
I'll make a motion, we approve the report, measure on.
Easy for you to say. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. And a third. All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Discussion? And I guess we need to do the same thing for measure R. Do we have a motion? No?
That's not a part of the. That's separate. right?
included in the measure I budget.
Well, measure R is part of measure I. So now we have a measure here. All right. Anything else that I've put on my notes that I've skipped over?
Nope.
All right. So the next meeting, Tuesday, November 26th.
Oh, that's awful close to Thanksgiving,
You're welcome.
and we'll be cooking.
You can bring us some turkey. Does anyone else?
I don't touch turkey.
She can bring the wine.
Reserve.
Because that's on a Tuesday and Thanksgiving's on a Thursday.
Right,
Right?
always is.
You wanna try Wednesday?
Heard.
What, Wednesday, the 27th?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are gonna be leaving town, maybe.
I think I'll just go away for another. I think I'll just go to another country for a while.
The 19th is council meeting. Is that Tuesdays?
Yeah.
Okay, so we could move it up the week before on a Wednesday, maybe, if that clears calendar.
As if on the 12th, you saying?
20th.
20th on a Wednesday
Yeah.
after council meeting?
Council meeting's on
You can
Tuesday.
have it
isn't it?
on the 26th, I'm just complain.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
Anyone else? Now that Margaret's withdrawn her complaint, quit being a little wee-wee and so 26th, all right with everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Anything else from anybody? Any other matters that you would like to cover?
Being as they just redid the training center for the fire department, you want to have the meeting over there?
That's,
That would be great.
That's fine.
They said they were gonna cook Thanksgiving dinner for us. So
Where? At the training center, 500 North Newcomb Fire Training.
I'd like to see what they've gotten done. 5:30.
Same time?
5:30 is fine.
Jerry, I had a question for Parks and Leisure. I know that you probably said the date, but when are they going to start on Fourth Street? That center over there.
We don't have a date yet.
Don't have a date yet.
Not yet, yeah. Hopefully, maybe in the next meeting, we might have a date, but not quite yet.
Okay,
The design is developed, and so we're getting there.
okay, thank you.
Anyone have any opposition to adjourning the meeting?
Good.
Meeting adjourned.